in his older days, you know. I'm not sure that's part of
thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's unfortunate.
Melo's never been that kind of a sacrifice kind of player.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but you know, who knows? I always liked Carmelo because the Knicks was really bad when he played for him, and he always played well. Mind you, he was a little selfish with his shots, but you know, sometimes you got to just lead the team. And the Knicks, you know, right now the Knicks are 4-9.
4-10.
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't update it in the Daily News.
Yeah, it was a late game yesterday, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, 4-10, which is only the fifth worst record in the NBA. I mean, that right now the Knicks are playing for the lottery, and you know they had a little bit of a drama situation this week because Coach David Fizdale had talked about how Kristaps Porzingis wasn't even sprinting yet, and his recovery from the ACL surgery was a bit slow. And then the next day, Porzingis posted a video on Twitter of him sprinting, and Fizdale for some reason was unaware of this, and it was almost like Porzingis. I thought that Porzingis was actually being a little bit of a jerk because, you know, why is he showing up as coach like that?
Well, did anyone check if it was new footage? Was someone holding up yesterday's newspaper like they do in hostage situations?
It's not like that, but you know, I mean, that's something that either somebody's got a clue in the coach. You know, one of the assistants. I don't know who's monitoring the situation with Porzingis because you know he's not with the team, but. You know, why, you know, I don't even know why Fizdale was making that kind of statement when he didn't know for sure what was going on.
Right.
But B, why does Porzingis show up as coach like that? So apparently they had to have a conversation to straighten things out. But, let's put it this way. Fizdale, the last thing he wants to do is get on Kristaps Porzingis' bad side because this is the guy who, with Marc Gasol, when he was with the Grizzlies, he was, the two of them had an acrimonious relationship, and that's what led to him being removed as head coach there. So, you're talking about a guy who definitely doesn't want to put himself in that position again because he knows coaches lose those situations. And I got to be honest, even though the Knicks are 4-10, I think Fizdale's done a great job.
I like him. Personally, I like his attitude that he comes in with.
Yeah, I think he's a great leader and motivator. I think he's also a good teacher. I trust him, and this is again it kind of goes back to Todd Bowles in a way. But I trust him to improve these guys and to make the Knicks a better team. I mean, they've already found a couple of guys. This Trier kid who came in. He's an unsigned free agent. He's been fantastic. And we talked before about Mitchell Robinson and the second round pick. He had 9 blocks yesterday.
Not bad.
Knicks rookie record, 9 blocks. I mean, that's a ridiculous number. Not many guys get 9 blocks in a game. But these are the kinds of players that you find who can contribute to, I'm not even going to say championship clubs, but I'm just going to say successful clubs where, whether they're, whether Robinson becomes a starter, I have no idea. But if nothing else, these are like key pieces of a second unit that will give your starters a blow and can keep pressure on another team. And these are guys you need to find to win titles, where you get a good 8 or 9 man rotation. But we'll see. I don't know what the future is for these guys, but again, Fizdale is the guy who is finding them, and GM Scott Perry, I'll give him some credit too. But this is what hasn't been around for the Knicks for the last 20 years or so, because they've never found these guys.
It's hard to believe it's been that long, man. It's been such a waste, and
But that's what the Knicks are trying to build, and I like what I'm seeing because I like that the Knicks are trying to put a foundation together. But again, I mean, they need to lose a few more games because when you're talking about some of those Duke kids who are coming out, and Zion Williamson had another monster game the other day, although it was against Army, so I'm not really gonna give him too much credit. But this is a guy who. R.J. Barrett is another guy who these are 2 of the top 3 picks of the upcoming draft. And right now, like I said, the Knicks right now would have the number 5 pick.
Okay. Quickly, the Islanders are in technically third place, though if they had one game, they're one game less played than Columbus. Columbus is 9-6-2. The Islanders are 8-6-2. The Rangers,
they're in the mix.
The Rangers have been playing pretty decent, 8-7-2. They were selling this as a rebuild year, and the Rangers are playing much better than a rebuild year, considering.
Well, they just so
yeah.
that's why again, you win a few games in a row and in the Metropolitan, and you're going to zoom up the standings. Because everybody, it's just like last year. Everybody's so tight. I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now. The top 7 teams are separated by 3 points.
Right.
You know, Carolina, they have in 7th place, and they have 17 points. Columbus is in first place. They have 20.
Right, and even the Devils, who were 6-7-1, they have 13 points.
13 points.
Columbus has 20. So it's very.
They're not far out of it.
No, so it's very very tough division out of all the divisions in hockey, at least. It's.
And if you look at the Islanders, they've already played 10 games on the road and only 6 at home. So. That's something else to look at. Is they're going to be getting more home games, which tend to do good things for a team's record.
And starting in December, 20 of those games are going to be at the Coliseum.
Yes.
So, first of all, they practice out here at over at the Eisenhower Park, whatever the rink is called.
Correct. Eisenhower Park. That's good.
It has a name, Northwell, or it's some corporate name. So they don't have to travel then to Brooklyn to play. They just walk across. They could walk to the Coliseum if they wanted to. So I think this.
Brother, they do have homes.
Yeah, I know that, but they don't have to worry about going into the damn Brooklyn Barclays Center. Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know how the players travel over there. I don't know if they drive or if they take the train. Who knows? But and again, I don't know how many of them have decided to live closer to Brooklyn. I would assume that most of them are living somewhere in Nassau County, just because
practice.
You tend to live closer to your practice facilities.
It's like when the Rangers practiced at the Long Beach Arena back in the 70s. They all lived in Long Beach.
Yeah,
and there was Stemmer. When we had Stemmer on, we talked about that.
Right.
He they would hang out in the Long Beach bars, and so sometimes they'd even take the train into the Garden. The Long Beach train's right there. So
exactly.
So they wouldn't even have to drive.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's face it. How many Islanders would be recognized on a Long Island Railroad if they decided to take the train to Brooklyn?
I don't know. They
and you're talking about them traveling during non-rush hour periods, because if it's a 7:00 game, chances are they're getting to the arena somewhere around 3:00.
Yeah, well, good point.
So if you're traveling in the middle of the day, how many people are in the train are going to see? Hey, you're Matthew Barzal. No.
Well, some people would know Barzal, I think. But I like when they first went to the Barclays, they would put Ken Morrow in a car, or they put Nystrom in a car, and everyone would go crazy. Right. But usually they did it on the car that went, or the train that went to Barclays that night.
Right.
So for the game, so if it was be on the 6:00 train or something. So
exactly.
So anyway, it's good to see the Islanders playing well, and I'm a little shocked about the Rangers playing as well as they're playing too, because I have a lot of Ranger fan friends who are like, "Oh, it's going to be such a bad season, and we don't rebuild," and the Rangers really don't rebuild.
Well, every team has to rebuild at some point. To say that the Rangers don't rebuild is kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's like the Yankees. The Yankees really don't rebuild either. I know,
but the Rangers aren't nearly as successful as the Yankees.
I know, but I know you like to say, well, all the Yankees now are homegrown. Except for Stanton. So,
they traded for him. They traded assets for him. Anyway, what I wanted to say is I'm actually a little bit encouraged by the Rangers, and only because they hired a college coach, David Quinn from Boston University off season, and I do want him to do well.
And did you cover him?
There is a bias against college coaches.
Did you when you covered college hockey? Did you?
I covered him as a player.
Oh, okay.
That's how far back we're going here. But again, I didn't cover. Obviously, RPI, the team that I covered, would play Boston University once a year, because the coach back then, Buddy Powers, was a BU guy. So they would set up a game, and they did some home and homes and stuff like that. But Quinn played for them back then. But I'm just from my own personal history, I like seeing college coaches because they don't really get that much of a chance in the NHL.
Right.
And I'd like to see, early in the season the Rangers were doing terribly, and that had me worried. But now they're 8-7. They're being representative anyway. I mean, I'm not expecting them to win a division by any means, but it's good to see them at least doing a little bit better and not being a disaster. So
yeah, I agree. But I'm not a Ranger fan as we're both not. But you know what? I don't want my Ranger fan friends killing themselves, over, some games, because Ranger fans can get that way. Islander fans can too, but it's usually, for other reasons. So,
right.
Anyway,
and we will mention for hockey that the Hall of Fame had their induction ceremonies over the weekend, and Devils goalie Martin Brodeur, congratulations to him on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, that was all. Good luck. Good for him.
Yeah. And quickly, brother, we have about 3 minutes. Let me just read this quickly. Don't forget, tonight at 7 p.m., German Hit Parade, every Monday at 7 p.m. Uwe Riggers plays songs and sounds of today and yesterday from the many different parts of Germany, plus news of interest to the German-American community. That's German Hit Parade every Monday at 7 p.m., right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Quickly, brother, we have some baseball awards that are happening. What's going on?
Yes, well, today or tonight at 6 p.m., the American and National League Rookies of the Year will be announced.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I fully expect Yankees third baseman Miguel Andujar to be screwed because...
Why do you say that, brother?
Because this whole Shohei Ohtani hype and the Japanese Babe Ruth and this nonsense. He pitched 10 games this year, and then he blew out his elbow. His hitting stats, Andujar's hitting stats were far superior to Ohtani's, but I think that I'm hoping that the voters see the stats for what they are,
right.
and look at the Andujar had a phenomenal season. All right, just absolutely phenomenal. And to deny him 27 home runs for Andujar, a Yankees rookie record with 47 doubles. He had more doubles as a rookie than Joe DiMaggio. All right, that's no small feat. So to have the kind of season that he had, I don't remember the RBIs, some 90-something RBIs. To me, he's the rookie of the year. And I don't care about Ohtani and 10 pitching appearances and whatever. I mean, to me, that guy, he should have been so much better than what he was this season. And to still give him the rookie of the year for basically having what I consider to be a subpar year. Yeah, he hit 20 home runs. Good for him. But is that 27? Is that a 290 something average like Andujar had? No. So, Andujar turned into a cleanup hitter on one of the most formidable lineups in baseball as a rookie. Right. So to me, he deserves it. And over in the NL. I think it should be between Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves and my man Juan Soto of the Nationals. Acuna, 20 years old, unbelievable season, 26 home runs. He became the leadoff hitter for the Braves in the NL East and really sparked them to the division title. Right. Juan Soto, 19 years old, brother.
Okay, brother, we have to get going. We have to get going. Take care. Big Ed's coming up next with Good Gold. Don't even touch your dial. Oldies music for the next 4 hours. He's the first 2 hours. Colton continues it with the retro mix afterwards. My name is Rob Leonard. He is Tim Leonard on the phone. Tim, you're at Twitter at?
At Real Tim Leonard.